The second question from Sychronos was also, which NFC North team do you think has the brightest future? We've said this a gazillion times. We're going to say it again. I don't want to say it again. The Packers.
They just want us to say it.
They want us to say it.
They want us
the
to say
quarterback. All right.
The cheese,
horrible.
the cheese.
It's horrible. Yes. Is that what people want? They just want to hear me say the Packers are really good. Does someone want to clip that and throw it all over the internet? Because they are. They are. It's pretty funny. Okay. A couple more from XX McLovin. He says, what an up and down week for the NFL. What are your thoughts on Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney saying one of the main reasons for joining the Packers is because of love and the appeal he has? I actually hadn't seen that yet. I didn't read into that. That's another benefit of having a great quarterback. When you have a quarterback people believe in, you start to become almost a recruiter just by being good. You know, being good has many perks. I think it's a dangerous sight for the rest of the NFC North, the rest of the NFC. That if people around the league believe in Jordan Love, it's not just Packers fans. And if he's able to draw talent, it's already a really loaded roster. I think one shows that, yeah, he's got all the talent in the world, but two, it seems like Jordan Love is also a great leader. I think it's a great sign for the Packers.
Nothing's more important than, at least in my eyes, than support of teammates and players like that. When you go one of the better safeties in the NFL now, a position that you really needed in Green Bay, coming over to your side because of what he thinks you can do after the season you just had, I think that is an awesome boost of confidence for Jordan Love.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, one thing, I haven't seen people talk about this a lot. It's not directly related to this question, but like McKinney and Jacobs are really good friends from their time together at Bama. You know, one of the things the Packers had going for them that made them so strong last year was all the locker room synergy, right? All these guys got along. Adding some older, more experienced leaders who you're hoping can help you take that next step on opposite sides of the ball who really get along. And, you know, we're forged in the Nick Saban fire. I really think there's a possibility those guys contribute a lot next year. And that with Jordan Love sort of become some of the bigger leaders of this team.
Yeah.
You know, with Bakhtiari gone, like that Aaron Rodgers era and all of those guys are officially sort of gone. All of them more or less have left. I know there's some players who were on the roster at that time, but like Bakhtiari and Rodgers were tight.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a new era in Green Bay. And with all of these people coming, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do. Certainly, I will say, not exciting.
I mean, listen, in terms of importance season by season, last year was more important to see that Jordan Love had the it factor. But I would say that this year, for Packers fans, like this is when you're going to find out now.
Is Jordan Love good or is Jordan Love great?
Yeah, is he great? Are you going to be perennial contenders for the next decade? And the signs right now indicate that, okay, this guy, like he seems like he's got it mentally now. And we already know he has the physical. It sucks.
I mean, if he does what he did for 9 games for 17 games, they're going to be 15-2.
And McLovin has 2 more questions. He says, do you think this year's the year we'll see 2 NFC North teams in the NFC Championship game? It's hard to. I have to say no.
It's improbable.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, very possible. I think the Lions and Packers have to be the favorites for it again, but
it's only tough because obviously it want us to go on the road
twice.
Yeah, I'd probably say San Fran versus Green Bay / Detroit again.
Yeah, if you're picking right now, the Aaron Donald retirement was big for the Rams. Like I do think that was massive. Yeah, in terms of if you're ranking the teams, the NFC Championship contender hopefuls, I would probably say right now San Francisco's got to be the one. Probably put Green Bay at 2, honestly, and then Detroit 3, maybe the Cowboys 4.
Yeah. Then what, like Philly 5?
Rams, then Philly. Red Azteca says, your favorite and least favorite moments of the Vikings playing the other teams in the division. I got this right here. If that's okay with you guys, I got this.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul. You're the lifelong Vikings.
Oh, man, not a Vikings fan.
Yeah. The Bears, and you have to remember, in my lifetime, I was born in 1998, so there are some games that people are going to bring up that I that just didn't watch. Bears, 2007, Adrian Peterson's rookie year on my birthday, when he absolutely demolished Chicago in Chicago, 3 touchdowns, huge, I mean, unbelievable performance. And it capped it off with a 60-yard kickoff return to set up the game-winning field goal by Ryan Longwell. We'll never forget that game. Worst Bears game, probably the 2009 season when the Vikings were 12-4, lost to the Saints in the NFC Championship game. towards the end of the year, we lost an overtime game to Chicago. I think they were like 4-12 that year, or 6-10, something. Chicago was bad, and we lost an overtime game when Peterson fumbled in overtime. That was absolutely horrible. There might be one more Bears one. I thought there was another really bad Bears game. I mean, we went to a Bears Vikings game, Ziggy.
That's my worst moment watching the Vikings.
that game was horrible. That wasn't worse to me though.
Didn't the Bears win like 6-3 that game?
No, it was like
13-9. Was it low scoring?
Yeah, it was like 19.
We were freezing. The Bears just took control of the whole game.
The defense was great that game, but no, the 2009 game that absolutely sucked. I'll be a little quicker here with the Lions. I would say the best Lions game. Man, we don't really have a lot of and we kind of just whooped.
I mean, who cares about the Lions, right?
Well, yeah, the worst Lions game. I remember the year we had Donovan McNabb. We were up like 20-0 at halftime, and Detroit came back and won with
You had McNabb.
We had McNabb for a year. We were up big in all the games he started, and then we gave up a couple huge leads. Detroit was down 20-0. People will probably remember this, and they came back and won. Calvin Johnson was amazing. Then the game where Golden Tate flipped in the end zone. I think the Lions had the ball with one timeout or something and 20 seconds left in the game on the 25 and won in overtime. I think you were at my house for that. Golden Tate flipped into the end zone when Harrison Smith hit him. I don't know if you remember that, but that was horrible.
I don't know.
That was horrible. Detroit, great games. I don't know. We just Lions suck. And then the Packers. So many miserable games to pick from.
What good games do we have against the Packers? There was that moment this year, I guess.
Yeah, what? I'm trying to think.
No, good games?
Like any good games from the
Oh, yeah, there were a couple of really good ones. I remember trying to remember when Zimmer beat them. Was that to win the division? I can't remember right now. We beat them in Lambeau late in the year. Can you Google that, Ziggy?
Yeah.
Trying to remember that one. I remember loving the game when we opened US Bank Stadium and we intercepted. Trey Waynes picked off Rodgers to win the game in, I think, week 2.
Oh, I
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
That was a great Viking Packer moment.
I do remember that.
There's another one though that I'm trying to remember. Oh, of course. Oh my God. How am I forgetting the Favre going back into Lambeau Field and Favre on Monday? Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Those are amazing. Look, all the Packers fans, I hope that you guys rewatch those games with absolute misery if you ever see it. That when Favre went in and kicked your ass twice that year, that was unbelievable. One of my favorite plays ever is the Percy Harvin touchdown when he caught it between 3 Packers. 3 Packers ran into each other and Harvin ran to the end zone. Oh,
I'm surprised that you didn't pick Anthony Barr just shattering Rodgers' collar.
Yeah, right.
And in the end,
that Packers fan would pick a game like that with us.
Oh yeah. Oh look, I know, and I'm never ruined for injuries or anything, but that did open the door. I mean, that did create an opportunity that year, which we did take advantage of to a degree.
I mean, the worst Packer game is probably going to be a game where like Jordy Nelson had like 500 yards and like 3 touchdowns, right?
Oh, there was one more great one. When we beat them in Minnesota, when Peterson went over 2,000 yards to get into the playoffs, we had to win to get in. Oh, that was so good. He ran for like 200 or something. There's a lot of good Viking wins over Packers. In terms of losses,
not when it counts.
In terms of losses, now this is what people want to hear. There was one game, and it might not stick out for like the right reasons, but I remember we beat Atlanta with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy's first game coming in and playing, and we were so high, Vikings fans, so high. And yeah, we were on top of the world. And then Teddy wound up getting hurt and not playing in the Thursday night game. And Christian Ponder went into Green Bay, and we got, oh my God, housed. We got destroyed. I remember my dad left and went to bed. And he may have even left the house. It was like 42-3 or something like that. And then that's when freaking John Kuhn's hopping in doing the Lambeau lead. That game sucked. The playoff game sucked right after when Ponder got hurt following the Adrian Peterson 2,000-yard game. We lost in the playoffs with Joe Webb. That game sucked. A few years ago with Zimmer, we were on a roll and we had beat Green Bay shirts. They spanked us in TCF Bank Stadium. And there's so many great Packer, annihilation games of the Vikings. The year we were 13-4 last year, 2 years ago. Remember we went to Green Bay and they mopped us in Green Bay?
Yes.
Yeah, so some of those games sucked. Sorry to ramble on. There's just a lot of NFC North games stuck in
memories are coming back. Memories are coming back.
Good and bad. Good and bad.